Shalom, brothers and sisters. Welcome to another edition of Maccabeestv. It's your brother, Priest Danyaahla, Lions of Israel, Maccabees Alliance Council. And y'all see the name of the video. So we're going to get right off into it. I'm not going to hold you up because I got quite a bit to say today. So I want to get right into this. But before I do, I would ask brothers and sisters if you could please hit the like button on the video. And as I always mention, the reason why you want to hit the like button on the video is that it makes it more readily apparent to people when they log on to YouTube, they actually see it right away. You know, the more likes the video has is the higher up it goes and people see it right away. And there's some information that I wanted to share with the family today. So you guys see the title of the video and you see what's on your screen. Now I know what some of you brothers and sisters are thinking, right? Here we go again. And yes, here we go again. So before we start with this, I'm going to read a scripture first. I want to go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 26, and I want to read verses 4 and 5 to answer the question that's probably going through some of your minds, right? This is what it says. Proverbs 26, verse 4 says, "Answer not a fool according to his folly, lest thou also be like unto him." There is so much disinformation, misinformation, and the like that comes out via the conscious community that is unbelievable. And for the most part, myself and most other Israelites, we ignore, I would say, 95% of the nonsense that comes out the community because that's just what it is, right? And I get messages from brothers and sisters on the comment boards of my videos, in my inbox on Facebook and Instagram, etc. Like, why do you keep addressing these brothers? Ignore them, etc., etc. And for the most part, because I value my people and I value your opinion and your counsel, especially when it's wise counsel, I take heed to your counsel 95% of the time. But verse 5 says, "Answer a fool according to his folly, lest he be wise in his own conceits." Every now and then, you have to pull out the proverbial intellectual switch or belt and put a pseudo over your knee and spank them every now and then. And today is Garfield's day. Garfield is one of those people that has become wise in his own conceits. He portrays himself to be a great researcher and a self-styled scholar, and thus the name of the video. Let me give you a little background on this video before I play the video, and I'm going to give you commentary throughout the video. I'm going to try to get through this as quickly as I can because I am at work, and people do actually come in and out of my office, but I really don't care right now. I'm having a little bit of fun. I'm having a little fun. Okay. Yesterday I was driving home, and I got a text from someone telling me that Sonetta was live and Brother Garfield was on his platform. So it occurred to me, I said, I don't think Garfield has ever gone on Sonetta and not said my name at some point or another. So let me see, what is he talking about? And if he refers to me, what does he have to say about me, per se? So I tuned in and I was watching. And it was the same usual huffing and puffing and boasting and bragging about how great research he does and how everybody in the community is wrong except him and the Amin Ra squad, right? Brothers and sisters, I'm here to tell you today that Garfield has no scholarship, brothers and sisters. Not because Priest Danyaahla says so, but we're going to demonstrate today. I would estimate I would say about 90% of his scholarship is logical fallacies in one point or another, in one place or another, and the other 5% is just straight up wrong, pseudo. I'm going to demonstrate today that he and I had about a 5-minute exchange on the phone. And within the 5-minute exchange that we had on the phone, he committed 3 logical fallacies. That has to be a record. It has to be a record. Maybe you at home might actually find more than what I found. If you do, please feel free to put it in the chat. Okay. So, in the midst of me driving home and listening to this dialogue that him and Sonetta were having, um, Sonetta sent me the link, and he does that. Like, when there's somebody on the show that he feels like I should see the show in one respect or another, he'll text me the link and others as well. Um, at the time that I called in, it was an exchange between himself and Zion Lex. Zion Lex has certain teachings that he teaches concerning Sumer, which I'll allow him to elaborate on. Garfield has deemed those teachings to be pseudo based on information that he has. And so I called in, since Garfield said my name on the show, I called him in to challenge Garfield on the information that he is presenting on the subject matter. There is a stone uh, a stone slab with some writing on it that has been estimated to be anywhere between 15 and 70,000 years old, brothers and sisters. Let me say that number for you again. It is between 15 and 70,000 years old, which means the scholars don't know how old it is. That's a 60,000 year difference. And so I called in to challenge him on the information that he is presenting as fact. My basic question is, how can you present information to the community as a fact and call another man pseudo when the very information that you are presenting, you haven't verified it yourself? Now, as I was talking, and I'm going to play the video, as I was talking, I was driving, so some of the audio may be a little choppy. So I'm going to come in and out and give you, brothers and sisters, commentary as well as repeat some of the things that I was saying to make the point. All right. So let's pick it up right here at 40 minutes and 17 seconds into the video. Let's go.
But it comes out in the public like it's the truth. Oh, we found this in America. We found this. This is why a lot of people won't like Garfield. They won't like Brother Onk and the Amara Squad, because we're like the folks that correct people when they're wrong.
Yeah, you guys correct people when they're wrong, but when people tell you that you're wrong, you don't accept the correction. Let's go.
saying that we can't be wrong, because if we are wrong, we want to be corrected too. So we are.
And so, my friend, I'm glad you asked for that, because today you're going to get corrected. Okay? I'm going to show you what real scholarship is not. And what real scholarship is not is what you present. Let's go.
Hated for being the people that correct people. All right. And by the way, family, Garfield ain't letting you down. I'm ready for tomorrow. I'm ready. When I mean ready,
Man,
I'm ready.
Garfield, your ass better be ready. All
I'm
that
ready
talking
already.
you talking, boy. You better be ready. Shit. Yeah.
Suma. I'm here to close the door, close the deal, man, that people forgot to close. We got to get these craziness out of the community. And we got to stop teaching about. See, the problem is people don't understand stuff that's in the Bible or how the Bible is written from a scholastic.
Neither do you. Just so we're clear, neither do you.
Perspective. They want to make up their own scholarship. Me and Danyaahla, we got to get it in too. And you're scared of Hebrew, we got to get it in too, because he's teaching some You see, how can you claim that you're
Who, the scarecrow?
The scarecrow Hebrew? He's nuts. This dude, I don't know, the pre-Antediluvian period and all this crazy stuff. Come on, family, we got to do better than that. We got to do better, man.
Well, he's trying to claim his name back. He said he's going to jump in the ring with Polite. We'll see. Tomorrow is Friday, brother.
Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Yeah, but let me say this though. As far as information wise, I mean, Hashar did a response to me the other day at Daniela's event, and
See, so there's Hashar's name. So you see, he does a lot of name dropping. Let's go.
even him decided to leave information out and give people the wrong impression. And I'm gonna point it out. These are the things that they do. It's called a scholastic sham. We want to protect our Hebrew sovereignty and we are Israelites. No, you're not. I haven't seen every black person's DNA, but from what we have on record, you guys are West Africans. Why is it?
Okay, West Africa is a geographic location. Where you are located geographically does not say what your nationality is. That's a sham. That's the real sham. Oh, because you're located in West Africa, you can't be an Israelite. I mean, that's so stupid. And just to prove that he doesn't know what he's talking about or he's being purposefully deceptive. Don't the Israelites use Deuteronomy 28:68 to say that we were taken from Africa into America on slave ships? I think pretty much every camp teaches that. So again, you are presenting what is called a straw man argument. That's one of your first logical fallacies. What is a straw man argument? A straw man is a form of argument and an informal fallacy based on giving the impression of refuting an opponent's argument while actually refuting an argument that was not presented by that opponent. So you're making an argument based on something that we never said. We never said that we didn't come from West Africa. We just say that we are the Israelites who were brought from West Africa to the Americas. That is what we say. Let's go back to the video. Let's get some more. We're going to come back to this, though. Let's go back to the video. Let's get some more.
You don't want to be proud of the Nak culture. You don't want to be proud of the Yoruba culture. You don't want to be proud of the Akan people, how they held off the Muslim for so many years, although they had the powerful sources. What about the sisters that was fighting in the wars and all that stuff? Come on, family. You can't show me the Hebrew Israelite that funded. Come on, Zion. You got your people in the medieval period. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. I want you to show me their descendants coming over on slave ships. Because how can you claim Israelite? And we're going to get into that gematria stuff you teach too. Because you talk about Deuteronomy such and such, and how could Moses know about this? And we know Moses ain't write the Bible. Come on. This is the craziness, man. If you can't read the Bible from Genesis to Numbers or Deuteronomy, you can't tell me that Moses wrote the book. There's no evidence that Moses wrote the book.
Hold on. You're going to like this caller. Peace and Black Power, family. What's your name? Where you calling from?
You ain't got to send me the link. I'm watching and I'm laughing.
So now you heard what I said, right? That's me. I told Sunday that you didn't have to send me the link. I was already watching and I was laughing because I was laughing at what he was saying. Because I know he thinks he's deep, but we're going to clearly see there's no substance. It's real shallow. Let's continue.
You ain't got to send me the link. I'm watching and I'm laughing. This is funny.
What are you laughing at?
Why am I laughing? Well, I don't know. I can hear Lee barely because I'm driving, but I'm laughing at what you're presenting as scholarship when in fact all you're doing is making appeals to authority that you're masquerading as scholarship.
Okay,
for example, about this number of 15 to 70,000 years that you read in a book that you said some academic sources, some scholars have given a number 15 to 70,000 years. I have a couple of questions about that. Very basic. Question number one. Are those numbers the academic consensus for those writings and those slabs they found, or are those just the consensus for the authors that you're dealing with? That's my first question.
The first question, yes, it is the academic consensus because
it's the academic. So there's nobody that said it different.
What do you mean nobody that said it different? What do you? Hold on. First of all, I don't know if you do. Okay, hold on. If someone disagrees, that doesn't mean it's not the consensus, brother. Are you familiar? Do you know what? Hold on. Let me finish. Let me respond. It's my show. Let me respond. First, you see, anybody that comes at the Israelites and point out how ridiculous the system is, they're going to get heated and angry.
So let me stop you right there. I wasn't heated and angry. I asked you a question about academic consensus because what it is that an academic consensus doesn't necessarily represent the fact that everyone thinks the same way. You can have 10 people looking at the very same archaeology that they found, that particular stone with the writing in it. You can have 10 people. You will have 5 people that will date it and say it's 15,000 years. You might have 2 that says, no, it's not 15,000 years, it's 30,000 years old. And you might have the other 3 that say, no, it's not 30,000 years, it's 70,000 years. But the academic consensus, because I guess it's a majority, will say that it's 15,000 because the 5 people said it was 15,000. But those 5 people could be dead wrong. So you presenting something where they're giving you such a broad base from 15 to 70,000 years old clearly shows you that the scientists really don't know. They don't know. So how can you use a piece of archaeology where the scientists are not in agreement and use that as a matter of fact to tell somebody else they don't know what they're talking about? That doesn't make any sense. And that's what I'm trying to convey to him. I'm conveying to him there is not agreement on how old that stone slab is, so you cannot say it predates Sumer. You cannot use that as a matter of fact to say it predates Sumer. That's my point. Unless you can definitively prove to me that that stone is 15,000 years old. But let's continue. There's more.
Let me say this to Danyaahla. Out of all due respect, if somebody says it's between 15 and 70,000, what happened is after the fact, they came together and said, yo, it's 15,000 years. Now, if you don't believe that, how they dated it, you don't want to go into how they dated it, and you want to question that, that's fine. But people disagree all the time, bro.
Well, that's the point. That's the point I was bringing out. He just said it to himself. People disagree all the time. The scientists don't agree with each other on how old that stone is. That's the first problem with you using that as a source. There's not agreement on how old it is. There's only a consensus. That's it. That's it. Let's go.
People disagree in science all the time. But as far as the consensus of what that date is, it's 15,000.
All right, let's hear Danyaahla out. Go ahead, Danyaahla.
Now watch this, right? It's getting hot for him. He didn't expect me to come with that question. This dude, the seat got so hot, he can't sit still. He's standing up and pacing and rocking back and forth because he knows I'm coming for him. Pay attention. Watch.
Logical fallacies, you're masquerading that as scholarship in the community. How are you going to bait somebody and tell Xilinx or anybody else that something is 15?
Calm down. Because you see the dude is standing up and he's pacing back and forth. He's telling him, calm down. I'm not mad. I'm not yelling at him. We're having a conversation. That's all. I'm just asking questions. That's all. You're supposed to be the scholar and the master researcher. So I'm asking questions. Let's continue.
15,000 years when all you're doing is quoting what someone said. Do you have the test? Did you see the test? Did you see how they conducted the test? How do you?
So that's my question. Here is problem number one for Garfield. If you missed it, I'm going to repeat what I said. I asked Garfield, does he actually have the tests? Because what he's doing is he has a book, and the book says that this particular stone with the writing in it is 15 to 70,000 years old, but I guess the consensus is it's 15,000 years old. So I'm asking him, how do we actually know that that stone is really 15,000 years? You're basing it on what you read in a book. That is called an appeal to authority. Let's read what that is. An appeal to authority is a common type of fallacy or argument based on unsound logic, where writers or speakers use appeal to authority. They are claiming that something must be true. Why? Because it is believed by someone who is said to be an authority on the subject. So as you're going to see from this point on, Garfield is going to tell me the reason why we know that this stone is 15,000 years old is not because he has the proof of it, but because somebody who has a degree in a university somewhere or a PhD, they said it's 15,000 years, so it's got to be true. Brothers and sisters, this is what he mocks the Israelites about. This is what he mocks the Christians about. This is what he mocks the Muslims about. He says, we believe in the Bible, and that's just it. We just read something in a book and we believe it. Now he's going to admit to the world that he read something in a book and he believes it, because I'm going to press him for actual proof. The actual scientific study that says that this is 15,000 years old, not a quote, but the actual study itself, where we can see the methodology that was used. That's what I'm asking him for. That is a primary source. He doesn't have that. Pay attention. Watch.
You know that they came to that conclusion. How do you know?
Hey, you know what I did, brother? You know what? Hold on, son. Let me respond. This is the herd. This is the problem. Son, take him off speaker a second. Take him off. But listen, family. This is how you prove how hypocritical this dude is. And I need to get him tomorrow or the day after too. Because they could all line up, Hashar and all of them, because they all is a scholastic sham.
Now, I thought I was emotional. I thought you said I was emotional. No, no, I wasn't pacing back and forth, and I'm not. The only reason why I may be a little loud, he has me on speaker and I'm driving, but I was actually very calm. Let's go.
To tell you why. Because when you go to the doctor, right, family, do you go to the lab when they take your blood? When they check your blood, do you go to the lab and watch the results of your triglycerides and your HLDL and your LCD and all these different things? No, you don't. So why are you going to ask Garfield that? I'm in North America.
Let me answer that for you. Let me answer that for you. That's easy. Let me answer that for you. I'm going to use an example. I deal closely with Master Herbalist Patrick Dells. When someone goes to see him for a consultation, the first thing he asks them for is their blood work. Why? Because when you go for blood work from the doctor will give you a printout or a report on your blood work and break it down for you in the report how they came to the conclusion that you might have high blood pressure or diabetes or something like that. They will give you the results in writing and show you the numbers, how they came to the conclusion. Hello? Um, aren't you the spokesman for DNA in the community? Isn't that you? Okay. So when you went for your DNA test, I believe you said you took 7. Maybe it's 5. I'm not sure. But I believe you said you took 7. So what? When you took your DNA test and they sent you back the results, did they send you a piece of paper that says, hey, Garfield, you're Yoruba. Hey, Garfield, you're Ashanti. Did they do that? No. They sent you back a report, and not only did they tell you what percentage you are of each particular tribe, but they also break down the numbers so that you can see how they came to the conclusion. They break it down for you. So, what I'm asking you for is not a quote in a book that says someone or something, something is 15,000 years old. I'm asking you, how did they come to the conclusion? If you're going to present that a stone slab with writing on it is 15,000 years as a fact, you need to show me how they came to the conclusion. If you cannot show me how they came to the conclusion, you are no different than a Christian or a Muslim or an Israelite. Why? Because you read something in a book and you believed it because somebody said. That is called an appeal to authority. That's a logical fallacy. That is not scholarship. Why? Because it is believed by someone who is said to be an authority on the subject. And that is what Garfield is doing with this question. He cannot answer it. Let's continue.
I read science. Hold on, brother. Because you're being a hypocrite. Hold on, brother. This is the problem. This is the problem.
Pay attention now. He's going to tell us how we know the number is right. Pay attention. Pay attention. Once again, let's come right back here. Appeal to authority because it is believed by someone who is said to be an authority. How do we know the 15,000 year number is right? Listen to his proof.
I wasn't there. I read it in Science magazine and I read the report. I read all the final reports and I agree with what they wrote. Now,
It is believed because it is believed by someone who is said to be an authority. So he said he read scientific journals and he read the reports and he agrees with it. He believes the information is correct. The same thing you mock the Hebrews about. That is a logical fallacy. That is not scholarship. Let's continue.
now, hold on a second. Now, I'm not appealing to authority.
Yes, you
What I'm
are.
doing is using what the authors and what the scholars have agreed on
That is
as far
appeal
as
to
how
authority.
this is factual. If you have a problem with the dating, this is why I said it. You could probably say that. But the point is, this is what is agreed on in scholarship because
That's an appeal to authority. You just said you're not doing that, but that's exactly what it is. He said this is what is said in scholarship because it is believed by someone who is said to be an authority on a subject. So he's telling you, brothers and sisters, I can't prove this stone is 15,000 years old, but I believe it because the scientists and the scholars said it's 15,000 years old. So I am a Christian. Say it with me, brothers and sisters. Garfield is a Christian. Garfield is a Christian. One more time. Garfield is a Christian. You can write it in the comments and shout it to the sky. Garfield is officially, from this day forward, a Christian. Why? Because he believes something that's in a book and believes it just because it's there. The same thing that he says about us. How interesting. Let's continue.
Remember, the date was 70,000. How did they get to 15? They had to have a consensus because they looked at the dating methods and came up with a conclusion.
What was the dating methods that they looked at? Where's the test? What was the dating methods that they looked at? What dating methods were used, Garfield? You don't know, but after you watch this, you're going to go try to find out. But you already presented this as a fact to the community. You're not a scholar. You're always talking to people about methodology. What type of sloppy methodology is this? Let's go.
So you're saying that every science magazine is garbage. We shouldn't take their word.
Is that what I said? Is that what I said? See, now, brothers and sisters, that is called a straw man. Logical fallacy number 2. Here we go. A straw man is a form of argument, an informal fallacy based on giving the impression of refuting an opponent's argument while actually refuting an argument that was not presented by that opponent. So, Garfield, timestamp, please, in this video. At what point did I say that the science magazines were garbage? Let's deal with this conversation right here, or if you could find another video someplace else. Where did I, and you cannot use what someone else said, because I know the games you like to play. When did I say the scientific journals were garbage? I didn't say that. But what you're doing is you are using logical fallacies as arguments to divert from answering my question, because you cannot answer my question because you don't have scholarship and you simply have what is called confirmation bias. You have a bias against the Bible and will believe anything that you can use to debunk the Bible. That is not scholarship. Let's continue.
I'm not appealing to authority.
Yes,
I'm using the scholarship that's available.
That's appealing to authority. You're using a scholarship that's available without finding out how they went about coming up with the number. You believe the number because they came up with the number and they have a PhD behind their name and you don't know. And I have to hold you to the standard because you do it to us. You're always asking for sources. So I'm asking you for a source, not a quote out of a book, but an actual source. If I'm going to tell somebody something is 15,000 years old, I need to have the evidence. Why do you need to have the evidence, Garfield? Because in order for you to say Zion Lex is wrong, you better bring something other than just a goddamn quote out of a book. Stop playing.
They did the work. I didn't do it. Garfield ain't out there.
They did the work. I didn't do it. They did the work. I didn't do it. What is that called, brothers and sisters? That's an appeal to authority. Because it's believed by someone who is said to be an authority. What did he say? They did the work. I didn't do it. My friend, you got the right one. You got the right one. You wanted to argue with me. You got the right one. Let's continue. I'm not playing with you. Let's continue. And it's nothing personal. Let's go.
They're digging. Stop trying to find excuses, man, and deal with the scholarship, bro.
King, but apparently you're appealing to authority. That's all you're doing. That's not scholarship. That is not scholarship. I'm telling you.
Okay.
You ain't gonna beat nobody with that type of scholarship.
I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna beat you. Step in the ring. Step in the ring. I'm gonna beat you first.
You come up with that number. You can't even answer. You're just throwing numbers.
How are you and I going to step in the ring if you're going to be using logical fallacies as arguments? I mean, we got to get past these logical fallacies. Like, do you have any real scholarship? Do you have any real scholarship, like real information? That's the question I have to ask. Where is it? So you know what? You said you and Zion are having a discussion. I'm going to watch your little debate with Zion, and I'm going to do a commentary on that. And we're going to check your sources, and we're going to see if you're presenting real information or if your information indeed falls into logical fallacies again, because that's what your shit is. You don't got no real sources. I'm going to tell you who real scholars are. I will give it up to Asar Imhotep. I don't agree with him, but he does real scholarship. I'll give it up to Ngozi. I'll give it up to Sanjeti. I'll give it up to those brothers, even Mujawu to a certain extent. I'll give it up to those brothers because I see them doing real scholarship and coming up with at least real information as far as not just going by what's in the books, but actually going beyond the books. You don't go beyond the books. Whatever's in the book, you run with it. You run with it, and that's it. You have no real scholarship. Let's go.
Out there telling people this is what it is, and people that don't have reasoning skills, they think he's deep. He said 15.
Oh, you don't agree. Why you don't agree? But why don't you agree? Why don't you agree with the number?
That's a problem right there. I never said, man, that's a straw man. while actually refuting an argument that was not presented by the opponent. I didn't say that I didn't agree with the 15 to 70,000 year argument. I asked you to prove it. I asked you to prove it because you made the claim, but you think people are stupid, so you're trying to flip it around and put the onus on me to to prove something that I didn't claim. No, my friend, the onus is on you. Period. Let's go.
But do you want the report? Do you want me to send? Do you want me to send you the report?
Right. So he asked the question, do I want him to send the report? So let me come over to the screen right here. This morning at about 3 hours ago Eastern time, I put on Facebook to Garfield, hey Garfield, can I get a copy of that source? I put the word source in parentheses. It's not real scholarship. You used yesterday. I'm trying to see something. So yeah, I would love to see a copy of what he's using, what passes off as scholarship, right? And we had a whole exchange down here, which I'll get to in a moment. All right, let's go. Let's come back.
So I'm not the one that put the 15.
Okay. Do you want the report though? But do you want the report?
Reading a book and how do you know?
You know the hypocrisy is this? When James Cassell went on your channel, you never asked him this. When James Cassell presented that stuff, that crazy theory about Israel and treating, you never asked him that.
Okay, brothers and sisters, that is logical fallacy number 3. That is called a red herring, right? Let's read what a red herring is. The red herring is as much a debatable tactic as it is a logical fallacy. It is a fallacy of distraction and is committed when a listener does what? Attempts to divert an arguer from an argument by introducing another topic. We're having a discussion. I called in to ask him concerning a date of 15,000 years for this finding that they found. I'm asking him to send me somewhere where I can actually see the test and everything. He starts talking to me about when James Cassell was on my channel and he was presenting information. That is a red herring. We're not talking about James Cassell or his scholarship. I'm talking about you. You see, the difference is when James Cassell, to answer your question, when James Cassell was on my channel, right, he wasn't on there to try to debunk anybody. He was simply presenting information. And that's it. It's up to the individual that watches the videos to go and do the research on their own. When you present information as though you are the final authority, and anything that anybody else presents that is contrary to what you're presenting, you say that is pseudo. That's what you do. You are the ultimate authority. That's what you do. That's why you must be challenged when it comes to your information. If everybody's information is pseudo and your information is correct, you need to demonstrate that. If you're saying something is 15,000 years old, I don't want to know what some archaeologist or some scientist said. I want you to bring out the report, go over the methodology in the report, and how they came to the conclusion that it was 15,000 years. That's what you need to do. And you can't do it, and you know it. And that's why you're doing what you're doing with all these logical fallacies, because you didn't expect the question. You expect everybody just to fall at your feet and be like, oh, 15,000 years. Hey, see, it's in this book. No, my friend. I see through you. And your scholarship is almost 90% logical fallacy. And that's what's going to be in your book, which is why I'm excited for your book to drop. I'll probably be one of the first in line to buy it. Let's come back.
Hold on a second. Sonetta, this is my show, bro. This is my show. Why everybody coming here trying to take on my show?
Hey, Danyaahla, you got to let him talk. Then when you let him talk first, Daniel.
You could cut off Danyaahla. He's in his feelings.
So now, wait a minute. He said he told Sonetta he could cut me off. I'm in my feelings. No, I wasn't standing up pacing back and forth. None of that stuff. You're in your feelings. Now, here's another thing. You can also never tell anybody I ran from you because I was on the phone willing to have a conversation, but you realized what I was saying, and so you rather me be dismissed. No problem. It's all good. It's all good.
All right, hey, Danyaahla, he want me to move
Set up
forward,
a date.
brother.
Set up a date. Bring them on. Bring all of them on.
Of course, so you can set up a date, bring all of us on so you can use someone else's information to debate us. Basically, Sonetta got me off the phone, and right behind me, the Mighty Hebrew came on the call. But I want y'all to pay attention. The mighty Hebrew's on the phone talking to him, but watch what Garfield does. Watch. Let's see if this is the part.
Hypocrites. Go ahead, man. You could take some calls. I'm good, man.
All right,
good.
I'm calm. We're gonna take some more callers. Remember, tonight is going down with Zion Lex and. All right, go ahead, brother. You got the floor. Go ahead, Mighty.
What's going on with you, Sinetta?
Hey, me and Polite is like, damn, what happened?
Trying to get to the part, family. Let's get right to the part.
Garfield, just a quick question.
Here we go.
You was talking about, can you hear me, Garfield?
Hey, Michael Brown, I said 15, not 50. Go ahead, my brother. I could hear you.
All right. You was talking about, academia and consensus, right? I just got a quick question. When you dealing in academia reason, the question is, do they give us information linearly, circularly, or linearly with a circle on top of it? What I mean is how they tell history, define history, because I know most African societies tell history circularly by set times and seasons and different occurrences. So when you talk academia, my question is, are you looking at it from...
You still there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm asking God.
You cut off. You said, are you looking at it?
All right, let me respond to what he said. When you cannot make a blanket statement about academia, and one of the reasons why, and this is the hypocrisy of what Danyaahla says.
Now, wait a minute. He said, let me answer his question. And he came back and said, this is the hypocrisy of Danyaahla. Y'all see that? He ain't going to answer Mighty Hebrew's question now. He's going to circle back to me now that I'm off the phone. He wanted me off the phone. Whatever you had to say, you should have said it to me. But watch this.
99% of the stuff we research, we don't research ourselves. So we are secondary researchers. This is why I don't understand what Danyaahla is talking about. Everything Danyaahla teaches is from a secondary or a tertiary source.
That's a lie, and I'm going to prove you're a liar in my next PowerPoint. I'm going to use this clip. That's a lie. Everything that I teach is from a secondary and tertiary source. You use the word everything. That means without exception. So if I have any primaries, you're finished. Let's go.
We got to stop this foolishness about white man science and when all your information comes from the damn cracker too.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is where I'm going to end the video. He said we got to stop talking about the white man's science, the white man's this, the white man's that. So now I want to take you to a Facebook conversation I was having with Garfield earlier. You saw the first part. I challenged him again. Watch this. Right here. I said, also, since you made the claim, you should also provide me with the timestamp yesterday when I said the white man's science, because I can't find it. And I put the two eyes right there. You know why? Because I didn't say that. Brothers and sisters, that is called a straw man argument, while actually refuting an argument that was not presented by the opponent. At what point during our 5-minute conversation did I say anything about the white man's science? I didn't. But as long as he brings that up, it plays to people's emotions, right? And so it's a distraction or diversionary tactic, so he never has to answer my question. I never said that. So I challenged him. Again, please provide me with this timestamp yesterday where I said white man science, because I can't find it. And I told him that was a straw man argument. Within the course of a 5-minute dialogue, you committed 3 logical fallacies. He committed appeal to authority, he had a red herring, and a straw man. Don't worry, I'll explain later what I'm doing in this video. Now, look at this right here. I thought this was pretty funny. He says to me, oh, you're in your feelings. No, I think this is a pretty logical statement. But he said, oh, you are in your feelings, LOL. Oh, so you tagged me when you could have emailed me or inboxed me. Whichever source you want, I'll send it after me and Zion debate you. This is funny, Garfield. I'm going to tell you why. Our discourse was public. That video has, 8,000 views already? We had a public discourse, and you made a statement in public. Why do you want to talk to me about it behind the scenes in an email? Why do I have to privately inbox you about a conversation that we had in public? Could it be because you didn't have the answer and you don't want to be put on the spot? Well, that's too bad. I know the seat got a little hot for you yesterday, but that's what happens when you are proud. when you boast yourself to have all this information and be the top researcher and everybody else is pseudo, somebody gonna call you on that, my friend. So I look forward to seeing your presentation with Zion Lex, and I will be looking and listening astutely to everything that you present, and we'll take it from there. And again, I'm looking forward to your book, my friend. Oh, and one last thing. I know you're wondering, what would happen to my response to the 4 hours you did on Sarnetta? Don't worry, Garfield. Yeah, your time is here. You asked for it. We're gonna give it to you. You heard? Hit that like button, Israel. Shalom.